Picture this, you're sitting in your cozy living room, the kind with a slightly worn but oh so comfortable armchair that's seen you through decades of life's ups and downs. The teacup in your hand is warm, the steam curling up like a soft whisper, and outside, the world is painted in the golden hues of a late afternoon sunset. But there's a quiet in the air, a silence that's heavier than it should be. The phone hasn't rung in weeks, maybe months. No text, no email, not even a postcard from your daughter, the one you raised with every fiber of your being, the one whose laughter once filled this very room. Her absence feels like a punch to the gut, a wound that doesn't bleed but aches with every breath. You're wondering, why? What did I do wrong? The rejection stings, and it's tempting to let it swallow you whole. But hold on, my friend, because I'm about to tell you something that might just flip your world upside down. This rejection, this heart-wrenching silence, could be the greatest blessing of your golden years. Yes, you heard me right. What feels like a curse might just be the key to unlocking a freer, bolder, more joyful you. Grab a comfy blanket, settle in, and let's take a long, entertaining, and heartfelt journey through this wild idea. By the end, you might just be dancing in your kitchen, ready to embrace the life that's waiting for you. The sting that shakes you awake. Let's start with the truth. Rejection hurts like nothing else. It's not a paper cut, it's a deep, soul-shaking wound, especially when it comes from your daughter. You spent years being her everything, her chef, her chauffeur, her cheerleader, her safe harbor. You remember the sleepless nights when she was sick, the way you check under her bed for monsters, the pride that swelled in your chest when she took her first wobbly steps or graduated high school. You poured your heart into her, stitch by stitch, sacrifice by sacrifice. And now, she's gone quiet. Maybe she's too busy with her own life. Maybe she's carrying grudges you don't understand. Or maybe she's just drifted away like a boat unmoored. Whatever the reason, her silence screams louder than any argument, and it leaves you questioning everything. Was I a bad mother? Did I fail her? Why doesn't she love me anymore? That pain is real, and it's okay to feel it. Cry if you need to, scream into a pillow, or shake your fist at the sky. But here's the first spark of something magical. That pain isn't just a wound, it's a wake-up call. It's like life's way of grabbing you by the shoulders, giving you a good shake, and saying, hey, you beautiful soul, it's time to see the world differently. Rejection from your daughter isn't the end of the story. It's the plot twist that sets the stage for your greatest adventure yet. It's a teacher, a tough one, but a wise one, ready to guide you to a version of yourself you've maybe never met before. Busting the myth of forever family, we all grow up with this warm, fuzzy idea that family is forever. It's like something out of a Hallmark movie. Your kids will always love you, they'll call every Sunday, they'll bring the grandkids over for homemade apple pie. It's an unwritten contract, right? You give them everything, your time, your dreams, your last shred of patience, and in return, they'll be there for you, especially in your later years. But here's a truth that hits like a cold splash of water. Nobody owes you love, not even your own daughter. I know that one stings. You might be thinking, what do you mean? I changed her diapers, I paid for her braces, I stayed up all night when she had a broken heart. And you're right, you did all that and more. But love isn't a debt to be repaid, and people, even our kids, are on their own journeys. Sometimes, those journeys take them far away from us, not because we failed, but because life is messy and complicated. Your daughter might be wrestling with her own demons, stress, resentment, or just the chaos of her own life. Her silence might have little to do with you and everything to do with her. Here's where the blessing starts to peek through the clouds. When you realize that love isn't guaranteed, you stop building your happiness on someone else's choices. You stop waiting for that phone call that might never come. You stop letting her absence define your worth. Instead, you start building a foundation that's rock solid, one that doesn't crumble when someone walks away. Imagine a house that stands tall, not because others are propping it up, but because it's rooted in you, your strength, your spirit, your spark. Letting go, dropping the rope. Letting go sounds like giving up, doesn't it? But it's not. It's one of the bravest, most liberating things you can do. Picture this, you're holding a rope, and at the other end is your daughter. You've been pulling for years, trying to keep her close, to make her see you, to bring back the days when she'd run into your arms. But every tug is tearing you apart, your hands are raw, your heart is exhausted. Letting go is dropping that rope, not out of anger or resentment, but out of love for yourself. It's saying, I love you, but I'm not going to bleed for your silence anymore. This doesn't mean you stop loving her. You'll always love her. Her name will forever be carved into your heart. You can still pray for her, hope for her, keep a light on in case she comes back. But you stop letting her absence control your days. You stop checking your phone every hour. Stop replaying old arguments in your head. Stop wondering what you could have done differently. Instead, you turn that energy inward, and that's where the magic happens. Let me tell you about Mabel, a sprightly 82-year-old I heard about. Mabel's daughter stopped calling after a falling out over something neither could quite pinpoint. For months, Mabel was a shadow of herself, sitting by the window, waiting for a car that never pulled into the driveway. But one day, she decided she'd had enough. She didn't stop loving her daughter, but she stopped letting the silence define her. Mabel signed up for a pottery class at the community center. At first, she was nervous, her hands shook as she shaped the clay, but soon, she was laughing with her classmates, creating lopsided bowls that she proudly displayed on her kitchen table. That pottery class didn't just give her something to do, it gave her back her smile, her spark, her sense of self. Mabel let go of the rope, and in doing so, she found a piece of herself she'd forgotten existed. The treasure of rediscovering you. Here's where the story gets really juicy. Rejection hands you a golden ticket to rediscover yourself. For so long, you've been mom. Your days were a whirlwind of packed lunches, school pickups, and bedtime stories. stories. Your heart beat to the rhythm of your daughter's needs, her joys, her tears, her dreams. Your identity was wrapped up in being needed, in being the one who held it all together. But now, with her gone quiet, you're faced with a question that's both terrifying and thrilling. Who am I without her? At first, that question might feel like staring into a dark, empty void. But it's not a void, it's a canvas, waiting for you to paint it with colors you've maybe never dared to use. This is your chance to meet the woman you were before you were mom, and to discover the woman you become through all those years of love, loss, and resilience. Think back. What made your heart sing when you were young? Maybe you loved dancing to big band music, sketching in a notebook, or baking fancy cakes just because. Maybe there's a dream you tucked away, a trip you wanted to take, a skill you wanted to learn, a story you wanted to tell. Now's the time to dust off those dreams and give them a whirl. Try this. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, ask yourself, what do I want today? Not what your daughter needs, not what the world expects, but what you want. It could be as simple as sipping your coffee outside to hear the birds, or as bold as signing up for that watercolor class you've been eyeing. Start small, but start. Each step is a brushstroke on that canvas, creating a new picture of you, not lesser, not forgotten, but vibrant and alive. Let's talk about Gloria, a 75-year-old who felt crushed when her daughter moved across the country and stopped calling. Gloria could have let that silence swallow her, but instead, she decided to try something new. She'd always loved flowers, but never had time to garden. So, she started small, a few pots of geraniums on her porch. Soon, she was knee-deep in soil, planting roses, lavender, and sunflowers. Her garden became her sanctuary, a place where she could breathe, create, and feel alive. Neighbors started stopping by to admire her blooms, and Gloria found herself hosting impromptu tea parties in her backyard. That garden didn't just grow flowers, it grew Gloria's confidence, her joy, her sense of purpose. Rejection gave her the space to rediscover her green thumb and her own radiance. New connections, new love. Rejection can make you want to pull the curtain shut and hide from the world. It's tempting to think, if my own daughter doesn't want me, why would anyone else? But don't you dare close that door, because the world is still full of love waiting to find you. When you let go of what's gone, you make room for what's coming. Your daughter's absence doesn't mean you're unlovable, it means there's space for new kinds of connections, the kind that light up your soul. These connections might not look like you expect. They might not come from family, but from what I like to call your chosen family. Maybe it's the neighbor who brings you homemade cookies just to chat, or the young barista at the coffee shop who remembers your name and asks about your day. Maybe it's the folks at the local book club who laugh at your jokes, or the volunteer group where you find kindred spirits. These are the people who see you, not because they're obligated, but because they want to. And sometimes, those bonds are the sweetest of all. Take Henry, an 80-year-old widower whose daughter stopped visiting after a family disagreement. Henry felt like his world had shrunk to the size of his lonely apartment. But one day, he decided to walk to the community center down the street. There, he stumbled into a chess club, something he hadn't played since he was a kid. The group welcomed him with open arms, and soon, Henry was spending Tuesday evenings laughing over chessboards, swapping stories, and feeling like he belonged again. Those chess players didn't replace his daughter, but they filled his heart with a new kind of warmth. Henry learned that love doesn't always come from where you expect. It comes from keeping your heart open. So, keep your eyes peeled for those moments of connection. Say yes to that invitation, smile at that stranger, join that group you've been curious about. You're not too old to make new friends, and you're not too broken to be loved. The world is still waiting to meet you. The spiritual fire within, there's something deeply sacred about this moment in your life. When the people you counted on step away, you're left with the one presence that never leaves. You. And maybe, just maybe, something bigger. Whether you call it God, the universe, or your own inner spirit, there's a quiet voice in the silence of rejection, whispering, you are enough. This is where you find peace, not the kind that depends on a phone call or a visit, but the kind that grows like a sturdy oak inside you. It's the peace of knowing you've loved with everything you had, even if it wasn't returned the way you hoped. It's the peace of forgiving your daughter, not because she's earned it, but because you deserve to be free. Forgiveness isn't about saying, it's okay that you hurt me. It's about saying, I'm choosing to let go of this pain so I can soar again. And when you let that pain go, you feel lighter, like you can breathe deeply for the first time in years. This spiritual clarity also brings you face to face with a profound truth. Your worth doesn't depend on anyone else's approval, not even your daughter's. You are a masterpiece, crafted by years of love, struggle, and resilience. You've weathered storms, survived heartbreaks, and still, you're here, standing tall. That's not just strength, that's radiance. And in the quiet moments, when the world is still, you might feel it, a spark of something holy, something that says, you are never alone, because you carry a light within you. Rising like a phoenix. This journey, painful as it is, isn't about falling apart, it's about rising like a phoenix from the ashes. Rejection is a fire that burns away the old, the illusions, the expectations, the parts of you that were tied to someone else's choices. What's left isn't lesser, it's truer, stronger, more you. You're not the woman you were when your daughter was little, and you're not the woman defined by her absence. You're a woman reborn, stepping into a new chapter with courage and grace. Picture yourself a year from now. You're laughing, not because everything's perfect, but because you found joy in the small, beautiful moments of life. You're painting vibrant canvases, tending a garden bursting with color, or sharing stories with new friends who make you feel seen. You still love your daughter, but her silence doesn't break you anymore. You've built a life that's yours, filled with moments that make your heart sing. That's not a fantasy, it's a future you can start building today. Let's talk about Esther, a 77-year-old who faced rejection when her daughter moved abroad and stopped calling. Esther could have let that silence define her, but instead, she decided to rewrite her story. She'd always loved music but never had time to learn an instrument. So, at 77, she signed up for piano lessons. Her fingers were stiff at first, and she hit more wrong notes than right, but every week, she got a little better. Her teacher, a young woman with a contagious laugh, became a friend, and soon, Esther was playing simple tunes at the senior center, her face glowing with pride. That piano didn't just give Esther a hobby, it gave her a new sense of purpose, a reason to get up each morning with a smile. Rejection pushed Esther to find her own melody, and she's never sounded better. A story that's far from over. Here's the grand finale. The truth I want you to carry in your heart. Your story isn't over. Rejection isn't the last page. It's the plot twist that launches you into your greatest adventure. You're not abandoned, you're being redirected. Redirected to self-love, to new connections, to a peace that no one can take away. Your daughter may come back one day, her heart softened by time, or she may not. But either way, you're not waiting by the door. You're out there living, laughing, and shining. So, take a deep breath, my friend. Feel the weight of that silence, but don't let it anchor you. You are more than a mother, more than a heartache, more than someone who was left behind. You are a woman with fire in your soul, wisdom in your heart, and a future bursting with possibility. The blessing of being rejected? It's the chance to write this new chapter on your own terms, with love, courage, and a heart that's finally free. Let's make it practical. Tomorrow, do one thing just for you. Maybe it's buying a bouquet of flowers to brighten your table, signing up for a class that sparks your curiosity, or calling a friend who always makes you laugh. Each step is a declaration. I am here, I am enough, and I am ready to live. And as you walk this path, know that you're not alone. There's a whole world out there cheering for you, ready to welcome the radiant, reborn you. So, dance in your kitchen, sing in the shower, and open your heart to the life that's waiting. The best is yet to come, and it starts with you.